slow motion rain to set the mood cliche. That's a horse on a boat right there.
Why is this happening?
I don't know.
Surely it has nothing to do with all the illegal pirate things I did in the last movie.
I think it's bad luck for the groom to see the bride before the wedding.
Would you movies please stop saying this in every f***ing wedding scene in every movie ever created?
The warrant for the arrest of one William Turner.
This warrant is for Elizabeth Swann.
You sailed here without any knowledge that you needed to also arrest Elizabeth Swann? You have 3 arrest warrants. Did you mistake the other 2 for suggestions?
The charge is conspiring to set free a man convicted of crimes against the crown and empire.
I know news and general things traveled slower back in the day than they do now, but how long has it been since the first movie? They just decided William and Elizabeth were fugitives after probably months and months during the time this wedding was planned?
Perhaps you remember a certain pirate named Jack Sparrow.
Captain!
Flying birds signify danger cliché. Jack Sparrow is a dick to birds.
Complications arose, ensued, were overcome.
Must have been a fantastic adventure. Too bad we didn't get to see it.
What do keys do?
Keys unlock things?
Get to the goddamn adventure already. Some of you've already skipped to go along on this Saturday Night Live skit. Thunder and lightning let you know something ominous is coming.
Why is the rum always gone?
For sheer shoutouts to the original movie, I guess.
And to what do I owe the pleasure of your carbuncle?
He sent me.
No, she sent you. And they are not amused, and he's not too happy about that.
Any idea when Jones might release said terrible beastie? I already told you, Jack. The time is up.
That's why I waited down here for so long, because I knew you'd just randomly show up down here and we could finally have this conversation.
It comes now, drawn with ravenous hunger, to the man what bears the black spot.
It couldn't just come here right this second because it's vacationing in Mexico. The Kraken will be drawn with ravenous hunger to the man with the black spot. And anyone who wears the same hat as the man with the black spot. Yes, Pirates of the Caribbean fans, you can relive all the greatest hits of the last movie in this 150-minute extravaganza. How did Jack Sparrow become the leader of this island people? Probably a good story, but we don't get to see it. Instead, the movie wants us to see the rather unexciting adventure of how Will Turner got to the island.
Lam say uniki. Sip stip.
That first movie was hilarious.
Save me.
Couldn't you have told me how to do that before telling the natives whatever you told them to take me away right now? Leering rapey guys.
Captain? Captain?
Geez, how long does it take to stab somebody? Dude's been standing here like that for 20 seconds.
No doubt you've discovered that loyalty is no longer the currency of the realm, as your father believes.
How does he know that she's in here? Just because the box was obviously opened? That could have been her dad, and he doesn't even know she's escaped yet. Elizabeth Swann looks absolutely dynamite for being a prisoner for so long. Did they let her do her hair in prison? And why does she still have her wedding dress on?
Look, there it is.
It took Will Turner some detective work to find the Black Pearl. It took these guys general paddling around after escaping prison to find it.
See, the Pelagostos believe that Jack is a god in human form. They'll roast him and eat him.
How long has this relationship between Jack and the natives been going on? Just long enough for Will Turner to show up and save him? Irony.
Oh, bugger.
Damn, those assholes were quiet.
Come on, men! It'll take all of us to crew the Black Pearl!
Why would you say this?
About 6 would do!
Oh, that's why. Oh, this guy had to run to the ceremony to tell everyone about the prisoners instead of just taking care of it himself. It's not like Will Turner and the rest can get out of the cage so easily. This, of course, opens the door for the Jack Sparrow escape. Hilarious Cannibal Kid is so eager to eat Jack he already has a knife and fork out. Isn't that adorable? And Cinnable. The natives haven't caught up to these guys running in a cage yet. Good God, man, I could have caught up to them from here before these guys could. Movie steals part of the opening scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Also, with the sheer number of spears being thrown and arrows flung, don't you think one of these guys would have gotten shafted by now? When we last left Jack, we saw a dude ready to kick his ass hard. Instead, he and the others in this scene resorted to throwing fruits and vegetables at Jack instead of doing anything remotely logical. They understand this. And then everyone decides they need to leave these prisoners to go back to Jack, who is still tied up and can be subdued by one person, but f*** it. You want me to feel like these characters are in danger, but this kind of stuff proves they're never in danger. You might as well have shown Jack being cooked and eaten, and then have him find a way to escape through the natives' digestive tracts.
I won't leave without him!
Perfect timing. Jack, who spends most of his time drinking rum, pirating, and whoring around Tortuga, can somehow outrun natives on their home turf.
But only insofar as we keep to the shallows.
So the Kraken can't attack as long as you're in shallow water? Then there was no reason for you to even go to that island if that's the case. Elizabeth is so certain the entire ship will believe this dress is from a ghost, she'll be able to leverage the situation to go to Tortuga. That's her actual plan, and it works.
There's a female presence amongst us, yes. All the men, they can feel it.
They can probably also see the female presence. Yeah, this is like Clark Kent's disguise to me. This is the type of stupid shit that makes a movie 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh, and,
She's probably naked.
Nope, because this is not the dangerous method, or Domino. Also, probably naked? You give her credit for being a stowaway, but not clothe herself to blend in?
Now that's the very question Jack wants answered. Bad enough even to go visit her.
Oh no, not her.
Her. Aye.
Okay, well, that about wraps up all the details I need to know about this person. Also, when we meet Tia Dalma, there is no danger or problems that arise or anything. She's nothing but helpful. Where is the little person that came along with them? He was part of that hilarious Mind the Boat chain just a minute ago, but now he's nowhere to be found.
In carb ultimate. Lock it away in a chest and hide the chest from the world.
Davy Jones' one weakness is buried exactly like Parallax.
Davy Jones cannot make port. Cannot step on land but once every 10 years.
But why? That's a completely arbitrary rule. And for how long can you step on land? An hour? A day? A year?
So what's your plan then?
Jack waits until they get within sight of the Flying Dutchman to ask Will what his plan is. Also, either the Flying Dutchman is on shallow water right now and Jack has completely lucked out, or this movie has completely forgotten that the Kraken's ravenous hunger should be leading it to the Black Pearl, since Jack still has the dark spot on his hand. Barrel of oil is handy for all your flaming sword needs. Okay, so he slices one of them, but then he just stands there for no reason after that, as if he's never seen anything unusual in this series before. How did this man who cut his heart out become a squid-lobster hybrid? I see the search for the female stowaway on this boat frantically continues.
I'm afraid, sir, Tortuga is the only free port left in these waters.
Hey, that's exactly where Jack Sparrow is going. No one sees this as a practical joke or even looks up to see if anyone could be controlling it. It must be ghosts.
What's that over there?
Much of the plot of this movie relies on people being too stupid to breathe. Zany bar fight.
I just wanted the pleasure of doing that myself.
Yeah, that person who is obviously a man is my kind of guy. How does Mercer have the obvious female as obvious detector and every other man in this movie is stupid as hell? Phantom of the Dutchman. Why are all the crew of the Flying Dutchman heaping masses of peat moss and aquarium decorations, but Davy Jones and the Hammerhead dude are clearly the results of Sid from Toy Story successfully mating humans with sea creatures?
100 years before the mast. Losing you were, bit by bit. Till you end up like poor Withany.
Great explanation! I can't wait to hear about the becoming a Hammerhead process.
The key.
Wait, this asshole can move? Get to work, you lazy bastard!
The Dutchman needs a living heart, or there'll be no captain. And if there's no captain, there's no one to have the key.
I get the living heart part, but who cares if the captain holds a key or not?
So the captain has the key.
Oh, fuck you. Why did you even bother to come out of the wall with useful information if you weren't going to spill all of it? And what were you afraid of anyway? You're 98% boat at this point.
I'm here to find the man I love.
How does Jack not recognize her voice?
You have news of her?
Most recently seen on the island of Tortuga.
Why didn't he just go ahead and capture them while he was down there? He didn't go alone, did he? He probably sailed over in a ship with several soldiers, right?
Wondering how it's played? I understand.
It's good that Will knows, but does the audience know the rules of Liar's Dice? If you don't, this next scene is going to make about as much sense as how that one guy turned into a hammerhead shark.
How do you know of the key?
Doesn't everyone know about it? What a wonderful world it is to be able to walk into an unlocked cabin and find the guy from whom you need to steal a key sleeping upright. This plan succeeds.
Just put as many leagues behind us as you can.
Damn, is this the only boat floating around in the Atlantic right now? Is this ship called the Coincidence? Last time we saw the Kraken, it buckled a ship in 2 seconds. Now that Will is on the ship the Kraken attacks, it's going to take its sweet-ass time. Why is it picking up individual guys off the boat and throwing them into the water? It could simply rip this boat in half and sink everyone right now. What awesome destruction! Still way slower than your average Kraken destruction, though. How did he get this far away from the ship? Convenient man-sized Flotsam also managed to make it all the way out here for Will to save himself.
The boy's not here. He must have been claimed by the sea.
Why did you bother sending the Kraken to do this job when you could have easily transported yourself and your crew over to the Coincidence and got the key back? You had no problem doing that with the Black Pearl earlier. Also, you found the Coincidence with virtually no problem, and I was assuming it was because you have some sort of magical attraction toward the key, but now you can't locate Will Turner right next to you in the water. God, I hope that's the last we see of this f***ing dress.
You're going to want to know what it tastes like.
Teasing.
They're here.
Well, it's a good thing you decided to come here when you did, getting here pretty much the exact same time they did.
You actually were telling the truth.
I do that quite a lot. Yet people are always surprised.
With good reason.
You did not hear that. Also, Davy Jones sent the Flying Dutchman underwater a minute ago, and you were riding inside that dragon mouth thing. That must have come up rather unexpectedly, and I don't know how you survived or got away without being seen. Look, I want to kiss Keira Knightley too, but maybe this is the part where you warn them about Davy Jones being here instead of being such a selfish dick. Dick?
I'm gonna kill Jones.
Better do it soon, he's right around the corner, right? Right? 17th century Reservoir Dogs. Also, why did Jack bring Norrington to the beach? He could have chosen any member of his crew to help him dig, but he picked him. because of the plot, I guess.
Let's just pull out our swords and start banging away at each other!
I like the cut of your jib, lady. When do we start? These two pirates decide to go with a little-used, running out in the open with stolen goods technique. Hey, look, the perfect castle on a deserted island to sword fight in. What are the odds? Also, this castle comes complete with a bell so that the bad guys can find out where everyone is. It's like this church, or castle, or whatever it is, was built specifically for an action scene in this particular movie. Surprise asshole guy swings to the left of Jack for some reason and screams to give away his surprise. I know Will taught her how to use a sword and everything, but when did she become an expert who could fight undead bad guys like she's been doing it all her life? Why didn't this water wheel just steal Davy Jones's heart and board the Black Pearl? It obviously knows what needs to be done for the plot. Oh yeah, the heart must be in that jar of land Jack carries with him. It's so simple for me to figure that out immediately just by looking. Will just sits here while the fight rages on, somehow expecting not to get killed or something. This guy is a dick to his head. Since when do these two have the power to relay orders on the Black Pearl? Going for the slow death thing again, I see. Sure, about 95% of the main cast is on this ship. Why wouldn't you? Good thing the Kraken's tentacles line up perfectly with the cannons.
Whatever you do, don't miss.
Good advice! Why isn't the Kraken killing Jack right now? We were told that the guy with the black spot on his hand was the one that the Kraken has a ravenous hunger for. What the f***? Those tentacles must have discovered the cure for being blasted by cannon fire in 2 minutes flat. What the f*** is this dude doing on top of this thing? These tentacles randomly grab everyone except people who are main characters. Couldn't save anyone else though, could you? How did he get up here? Don't you need help getting on a ship like this when you're on a small boat in the water? Well, that should stop the Kraken for a couple of minutes. How is this ship even still sailing after all that nonsense?
We can get away as it takes down the Pearl.
Is Davy Jones even watching any of this anymore? He should have caught up by now, and the Kraken should know, sense, see, or feel people getting on a longboat, right?
I always knew you were a good man.
Oh, come on. Talk about inventing conflict. And of course, this dickhead Will is in perfect I saw you kiss another man position.
It's after you, not the ship.
F*** you. If the Kraken was really after Jack, it would have taken that easy meal while he was rowing by himself a minute ago. Oh yeah, Davy Jones is in this.
One of the ships did pick up a man adrift at sea.
How did they find Norrington? How did he get into the water? There were no boats left behind when he was still on the island. Did he build one in a week using only a sword to cut lumber? We found the pardons, but somehow didn't see the bag full of heart he hid somewhere in his raggedy clothes.
I took the liberty of filling in my name.
Damn, this guard escorted Norrington into this room without a f***ing sound.
If there was anything could be done to bring him back.
Would you do it?
I knew At World's End was coming when this was released, so sure, this isn't one bit of a surprise, but there's seriously a way to bring someone back from getting eaten by a Kraken?
At World's End.
Roll credit. Oh, damn. Got ahead of myself. Captain Barbossa was just sitting upstairs waiting for Tia Dalma to spring that surprise. What if no one wanted to save Jack? Would he have just sat up there until they left? The director said, let's have your character eating an apple. It'll make you look like even more of a surprise asshole. Happy ending for the dog, I guess. Only because the movie ends before we see what really happens to him. They eat the leader, right?
Budweiser.
I can't believe they went with the frogs.
Louis.
Our audition was flawless.
Louis.
We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer.
Don't listen to him.
Who said that? Who the f*** said that?
I'm the Flying Dutchman. I'm the Flying Dutchman.
It's the beating of that hideous heart! I think I hear something.
I must add that Lady Catherine will thoroughly approve when I speak to her of your modesty, economy, and other amiable qualities.
Sir, I am honoured by your proposal, but I regret that I must decline it.
I know ladies don't seek to seem too eager.
Mr. Collins, I am perfectly serious.
I would cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood but a little higher from the ground.
You would die before your stroke fell.
The story opens on these mysterious explosions. Nobody knows what's causing them, but it's upsetting all the buffalo. So the military are called in to solve the mystery.
You forgot the octopus.
No, I'm saving that for my big underwater climax.